I have a vision for this big oversized sweater. It is super cozy and comfy. I really love like all the rib knit details. This flannel that I'm going to use is kind of like a detail fabric. I want to cut this sweater into like a off the shoulder neck because I've just been really digging off the shoulder looks lately. And I'm going to this kind of patchwork it onto the neckline of the sweater. Sounds crazy, but trust me, it's going to be fire. So let's get into it. Mannequin! Ah! Oh my gosh, that was a nail. Not my nail, thankfully. With these types of sweaters, you just want to be really careful because if you cut too much, you could go from off the shoulder to off the shoulder. So I'm gonna cut it from the top of the neckline and I'm literally just freestyling it. It's like about 3 or 4 inches, not too much at all. I just use simple chalk. It's just chalk. That's all it is. Now I'm gonna go down here and connect the lines. We're ready to cut. Guys, why am I scared? That is far too much that I cut off, which I knew was going to happen, but thankfully we have the flannel to save it, and I'm going to show you how off the boob we go. What I think I'm going to do first, probably stitch all this in a little bit so that it isn't hanging all the way off too much. I'm going to serge these ends so that they're not like super raw. Let's go. Okay, hopefully the lighting isn't absolute shit. I've had this brother serger for eons. I love it. I think she is just great. I say as I completely have to detangle her. Oh my god. Rethreading sergers will be the bane of my existence. I swear. I love my serger though. My serger has gotten me through so many tough times. Like 3 breakups and many years. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera off. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I don't even want to tell you guys how long that took me. I am going to now flip the sweater inside out. I think I just did to bring it in a little bit more. Got some pins here in all the parts that I want to sew. And I'm just gonna do a stitch from here to here that the sweater lays like this on the body. I finally finished sewing the sweater base of it. I like that it's off the shoulder, but it's not like too much off the shoulder. And now I'm going to do the fun part, which is I'm really just gonna play around with it. I think it would be fun for like one of the sleeves to go through, and maybe I could even like scrunch the sleeve. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a bunch of like pins. I have like a couple small stitches. So like let's say I wanted to attach this cuff to the sweater cuff, I wouldn't stitch all the way around because the sweater is stretchy and this flannel is not stretchy. So if you sew all the way around, you're gonna lose the stretch and your hand could get caught and you may not be able to put your hand through. So I'm just going to do like one small stitch here and one small stitch here. And then maybe going up, I might add like a few like small stitches here and there to create this kind of like scrunched effect. I don't want it to look like too intentional, but I don't want this part to be like all the way down on one side. I think I do like the collar on just one side actually. Now I'm in the back. I'm gonna add this collar. Well, I'm already making the commitment now. I'm gonna have to do something to make that not look crazy in the back. Right now we are still working on making the front look cool. Actually, the buttons are fun. Right under the butt. Kind of like how this looks crazy hanging off like that. I don't know, I haven't made a decision with that yet. I do think this needs to be sewn in a little bit on the side because the arm is a little hanging. I don't know if I want to like let some of this hang off too. I'm gonna cut it so that some is hanging off and just see how I like it. It's a big maybe. I don't know, because like hanging off the side and I don't hate it, but I also don't know if I love it. I think I need a food break and probably an overall timeout from today. We're back, and I was thinking about this actually last night that I have like enough fabric. Well, it's really not a lot, but I have some fabric, just enough to make a tiny cunty mini skirt to go with the sweater. I had pinned all the pieces together, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch it. You can see there's like this extra flap that I had left the last time, but I'm honestly thinking of removing it since we are doing this skirt, but I don't know yet. You guys, I just did a spring clean out and I found like a ton of bobbins. Well, that's not a ton because obviously there were more, but this is a lot more than what I had before, so I'll take the dub. And I also found empty bobbins. Woo woo. I don't think people who don't sew will truly understand the feeling of finding just a whole box of empty bobbins. Possibilities are endless. Happy 2026. I just want to say thank you to my subscribers for like still riding with me, man. I don't know if I would still be here without you guys. Finally threaded my bobbin, but I used all the thread from the other spool for the bobbin. But these are the two colors we're working with. They're similar but not identical. I folded and pressed the seams so that they're not loose in any way. Pretty much just want to stay as close to the edge as possible, maybe like about 1/4 seam allowance. I finished sewing this top part and it looks fine. So I'm on this side and it's raw. I think I want to press it first, pin it a little bit better so that it's a lot more consistent. I'm not gonna lie, sewing the sweater part was getting pretty tedious and I was getting kind of bored before I finished the sweater part and move on to the skirt because I just had like an intrusive idea. I literally have here half of a button-up shirt. This is the sleeve and these are the buttonholes. What I'm thinking is utilizing the part that is already hemmed at the bottom as the hem of the skirt since it's already hemmed, and putting the fabric around like so. Maybe not too high up either. I want it to be kind of low waisted. And then I was imagining you just using this part as kind of like an accent. Oh, the side is going to be super bare right here, but I do have some more fabric I can put. I'm thinking maybe this can be in the front and the longer fabric in the back. Be kind of a wrap skirt. I actually really like that. This is the last piece of scrap fabric from this project. Ooh, that's kind of cool if I use it as a piece of patchwork on here. I didn't realize I had this much fabric left over, like enough for a whole skirt. Freestyle draping is probably one of my favorites. It gives the designer a lot more creative freedom, especially if you're making one-off pieces. I will say patterns are going to be a lot more clean and neat. So it just really depends on how you want to create. If I'm creating a prototype or a sample, a lot of the times I'll just drape it first and then create a pattern from the drape. I think right here, kind of want to make it fold in so it's not sticking out too much. I kind of wanted to give like cozy fairy vibe. Could also work if I just inserted some buttons going down the side. If I put this extra piece of sweater right here on the skirt, then this will officially be a zero waste project, which I always love. I think I'm pretty much done draping this like skirt belt moment. I might add some more details in a little bit later. Now I've sewn this part, this part, this part, and this part. I'm going to now sew the top hem where the neckline is. I don't want the fold to be like too wide. I'm gonna stay near the hem for the sweater. I think I'm going to remove this flap in the back, and if we take this fabric off, we may have some fabric to add to the skirt as well, leaving enough seam allowance to create a smooth fold. I do feel like this back part looks kind of weird right here. Pleats or something, maybe pleats or ruching could be cool if like I didn't stitch it all the way down. Let me see how it looks if I finished it with a burnt hem. Because I fear that if I did a fold over hem... Ooh, okay. I fear that if I did a fold over hem, it's gonna lose the shape. Oh my goodness. Casually catching my studio on fire. I'm just gonna lightly burn the hem. Obviously it can't handle if I put too much fire onto it. I was actually going to think about folding this part in as well and just not having this like kind of hanging off. Coming together, you guys. I know where I'm gonna wear this to. I have this apocalyptic themed dinner. I know that sounds freaking crazy. I think I'm gonna wear this to that. I think I have officially reached the end of my battery life. The last couple steps of the sweater to hem this bottom part, and then this is kind of the more difficult part, which is be sewing this outer sleeve onto the inner sleeve. And I want it to maintain this messy scrunched moment on this sleeve. I'm going to need to just hand stitch wherever I put my pins. So I have finally finished the sweater because this is all folded over. So I think the next step I'm going to do is just like sew all the way along the hem. Sew this part, probably sew this part here as well. And then I think I'm going to just add buttons right here. So this is what the skirt belt looks like. I just finished hemming it, but I just feel like there's not nearly enough coverage. I had cut some more fabric. The smallest little panel of pleats right here would make like a huge difference. This looks way better already. I just need to turn the hem and I'm making it flat here. So this is the final product. I think it turned out so cute. I love the skirt. I'm so glad I ended up doing that, and I wore it to my apocalyptic themed dinner. And I styled it with these fur boots that have like bullets on the knee part of it, and then I styled it also with this bullet belt that I have randomly. And yeah, it was a hit that night. I got so many compliments just because the outfit is just so out there for like where I was going. It's just really funny. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much for watching.